Even the country's oldest Latino civil rights group came out against it, yet AOC keeps defending it, saying gender is fluid, language is fluid. Yes, and Latino voters are fluid. Redress the past, or reach out to the gettable white voter who says, you know what, I'd like a shot at getting in the pot business. But to do that, our entire audience.
You ever notice how Democrats keep inventing new and creative ways to sabotage themselves? They're like Olympic-level pros at losing their own voters. And Bill Maher, yeah, the smug liberal who's made a career out of mocking conservatives, just roasted them on his show. And honestly, he's right. Let's start with the whole Latinx fiasco. The woke squad tried to rebrand every Latino in America as Latinx. They shoved it into speeches, campaigns, classrooms, everywhere. And the actual Latino community? Massive eye roll. Poll after poll showed they hated it. Even the oldest Latino civil rights group in the country said, nope, not for us. But AOC and her crew keep clinging to it like it's sacred scripture. Her excuse: gender is fluid, language is fluid. Okay, fine. But guess what else is fluid? Latino voters. And they're flowing right out of the Democratic Party.
Last week, an 85% Latino congressional district on the border with Mexico, which had always voted heavily Democratic, flipped to the red team. And the campaign manager for the losing Democrats said, we gave up a reliably Democratic congressional seat for no reason at all. We deserve to know why. Well, aside from your terrible attitude, I'm going to tell you why. Because these voters stopped seeing your candidate as their...
That's the thing Maher nailed. Voters want politicians who act like their lawyers. Not TikTok influencers. Not pronoun police. Lawyers. Someone who fights for their interests. But Democrats can't stop chasing hashtags. How clueless do you have to be to force a word like Latinx when the very people it's meant for overwhelmingly reject it? That's not inclusion, it's arrogance dressed up as progress. Imagine me insisting, hey, don't call it pizza anymore. From now on, it's circular gluten units. When everyone boos me, I double down, well, language is fluid. It's absurd. And voters see through it.
Your message to you was, I'm an American now. I'm here. Be my lawyer, not the lawyer for the migrants showing up in my backyard. Every month I see a new poll reporting how much Latinos despise the woke term Latinx. It's about as popular with them as a reboot of Speedy Gonzales.
That's why Trump, yes, Trump, ended up gaining Latino support. Not because he suddenly became the community's champion, but because Democrats abandoned the role. When you stop being people's lawyer, they fire you and hire someone else. That's politics 101. And the Democrats failed it.
Even the country's oldest Latino civil rights group came out against it, yet AOC keeps defending it, saying gender is fluid, language is fluid. Yes, and Latino voters are fluid.
And it's not just Latinos. Asian Americans are walking away too, thanks to the Democrats' obsession with equity in schools. In blue cities, they eliminated advanced programs, the very ones Asian kids excelled in. Instead of lifting up kids who were behind, they dragged everyone down. That's not equity, that's sabotage. If you're a parent watching your kid work hard in math or science only to be told, sorry, we're cutting that program because not every kid is thriving, how are you supposed to react? You want a fighter for your kid, not a bureaucrat chasing ideology.
And more of them now than ever are identifying as Republican. So are Asian Americans, whose support for Democrats is down 16 points since the last election. A lot of that is because, in the name of achieving equity in schools, Democrats in deep blue cities have made it a mission to eliminate the advanced programs at which Asian kids excel. Asian parents said, okay, I wish all kids well, not a racist, but I need someone who acts like my lawyer.
And this hurts all kids. Excellence pushes everyone higher. Kill the top performers, and you kill motivation across the board. Why study harder if there's no reward? Why push yourself if the standard has been flattened in the name of fairness? It's a race to the bottom. Add in the pandemic shutdowns, where Democrats sided with teachers' unions instead of families, and you've got parents everywhere saying, enough. And then Democrats wonder why those parents start voting Republican. Really?
A parent and wanted schools to reopen a lot sooner than they did after COVID shutdowns, or think maybe your kid is getting a bad education partly because it's nearly impossible to fire a lousy teacher? Yeah, you're going to say, congratulations, teachers, you got yourself a good lawyer. The Democratic Party's always got your back, 100%. But I've noticed my kid is kind of an idiot. So I may be looking for new representatives.
Same story with student loan forgiveness. Sounds compassionate on the surface. Cancel debt, free up young people. But look closer, it's a slap in the face to the working class. Imagine you're a truck driver or a waitress. You skipped college to avoid debt. You worked, you sacrificed. And now Biden's telling you your taxes are going to bail out someone with a 6-figure gender studies degree. That's not justice, that's buying votes. And voters notice.
President Biden wants to cancel hundreds of billions of dollars in student debt. Okay, but the poorer 2/3 of American kids who don't get a college degree are going to say, why should the people who didn't go to college and make less money subsidize the people who did go and make more? You want me to chip in so some liberal arts college can build a bigger rock wall? You're not my lawyer.
Or take these universal basic income experiments. Some cities literally hand out money to tiny groups, sometimes only LGBTQ participants. Look, nothing against helping people in need. But when you single out one identity group, you're basically saying everyone else doesn't matter. Democrats have turned LGBTQ pandering into their political love language. Every policy, every speech, every rainbow-colored stunt seems laser-focused on one block. Meanwhile, everyone else feels invisible. And invisible voters don't stay loyal, they leave.
Universal basic income probably sounds pretty good to a lot of people struggling without a college degree. And a number of cities have been running pilot programs in guaranteed income. But the West Hollywood program had to be suspended because it was unconstitutional. They set up a program where 25 residents were to get $1,000 for 18 months, but only if you identified as LGBT, the rest of that. Why? Because they need money more than any other people? Because no one in West Hollywood will hire a gay person?
Issue like marijuana legalization, something Democrats should have owned forever, Republicans might beat them to it. Bill Maher, the Pope of Pot, even said Trump could be the one to push nationwide legalization. Imagine that, the uptight GOP delivering what progressives have been promising for decades. Maher lighting up a joint on live TV and admitting, yeah, Republicans got it done. That would break the internet.
When he ran in 2020, Bernie Sanders said he would legalize marijuana on his first day as president, but that the business of selling pot would be awarded first to those who suffered most from the drug war. And you know what? I can't argue with that instinct. The drug war has been a horrendous instrument of prejudice and punishment for racial minorities. So it seems fair that they jumped the line for weed franchises the way Indians did for casinos. But it's also what's holding up Republican support for legalizing weed nationally, which would be good for everybody. And these are the hard, practical choices the Democrats have to.
And that's the bigger picture. Democrats love the slogans, hashtags, and moral grandstanding, but when it comes to delivering, they choke. Meanwhile, Republicans, love them or hate them, are seizing the openings. They're showing up as the lawyers for the average American. And voters respond to that. People don't want pandering. They don't want lectures about pronouns or equity. They want safe neighborhoods, good schools, and their tax dollars respected. That's it. And Democrats have forgotten it.
That's the past. Or reach out to the gettable white voter who says, you know what, I'd like a shot at getting in the pot business. But to do that, our entire audience.
So, no, Bill Maher isn't some conservative hero. But he's right. Democrats are digging their own grave with these woke policies. From Latinx to equity in schools to debt forgiveness to identity pandering, they're showing voters where their priorities aren't. Latino voters, Asian voters, working-class voters, they're drifting away. And when election day comes, slogans won't save the Democrats. Action will. Right now, Republicans are the ones taking it. So what do you think? Can Democrats pull themselves out of the woke swamp, or are they too far gone? Drop your thoughts below. Smash that like button if you're sick of the pandering. And subscribe for more episodes of Woke Culture Chronicles. Because trust me, we're just getting started.